Hello all and welcome to All Red. What does this 2-1 win for Liverpool over Wolves at Anfield mean, and tell us about arneslot's Reds at this point in the season? Well, I think this is a very, very important result, not just because it's 3 points. Obviously, that's the best reason why it's important, but I think there's another underlying reason why this result is so key and important to tell us really what's at the core of this arneslot mentality in this team. Now, if we look back at the game, 2-0 at halftime, it absolutely looked like Liverpool were going to run away with this. I mean, it was just a completely dominant first half performance. Honestly, it was a little surprising because first halves for us this season have not been that dominant. I mean, it's rare that it's that dominant. We've had a few matches where it is, but Liverpool come out and just absolutely smash Wolves on the nose in that first half. And so we're all thinking like, great, wow, comfortable win, 3 points at this stage in the season. Amazing gift, right? But then the second half comes around and, first 5-10 minutes, you could kind of feel like, oh, okay, so this is going to be one of those games where we get an early lead and then we just coast, right? We just coast to the end and see it out. And maybe it's a little dodgy at times, but hey, maybe we'll get a 2-0 win. Look, I said this in the match preview for this game. I'm wrong a lot of times, right? I am not right all the time. But there were a few things I had a sense and a feeling for. Number one, Cunha would score. I predicted that, which it's not hard to do, right? He's a very good striker, very in form right now. The other thing I said was, I'm just having a hard time imagining this Liverpool team getting a clean sheet. And it's just hard to see this team getting a clean sheet at the moment because we seem to have these mental lapses throughout these games, and this was no different in this game. It was a great finish by Cunha, but we just have these mental lapses. And in that second half in particular, we had a lot of mistakes. The other thing I predicted in the preview show was that Mo Salah would score a penalty, which is, whatever. It's not hard to predict either, I guess. 50-50 chance at this point. But Liverpool got the 3 points. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing. But I think the one thing that we just learned about this slot team is that they can put in an ugly shift at the end of a tough week and grab 3 points to keep the foot on the gas at the top of the Premier League table. Now, why do we learn that? Why is that special? Because I think in years past, this is a game where we draw. I do. And I'm not slating Klopp. I'm not even just talking about the Klopp era. Brendan Rodgers, and before that, previously, Rafa Benitez. This would be a game where absolutely we would draw. And it's one of those games where, bottom 3, bottom 4, coming into Anfield, and it's just everybody in the world would expect Liverpool to win. And there were times at the end of this game where I was thinking in my head, oh, Wolves are going to score. Here it goes. Even in that very last play of the game, right? When it's like, okay, 6 added minutes, it's in the 96th minute, and we give possession away, and Wolves are starting to come. And they start to come up the field, and I'm just like, here it goes. Here we go. It's probably recency bias because of the Everton thing, but here we go. And they come up the field, they get it into our 18, and then they end up fouling, I think, Robertson or Virgil or whatever. But we see it out. And that was an absolutely massive 3 points going into what is going to be a very difficult week. Because I think, as poor as Villa have been this season as compared to last season, I think Villa away could be a really tricky match where they've got some really in-form attacking players coming up against our defense that has been leaky at best. And then we have to welcome Man City to Anfield. And Man City, even though they've struggled all season long, it seems like they're starting to figure some things out and really put a lot of goals past teams. Never mind the Arsenal result, but they just put 4. It was 4-0 against Newcastle. I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. I know that was at home, but it's going to be a difficult week. And the mental resolve that we saw, it's probably a little bit of luck as well, that Wolves couldn't put one in there. But this game was close. I mean, it wasn't like we smashed Wolves and they got a little bit lucky. No, it was, expected goals, 1.76 for Liverpool, 1.33 for Wolves. That's a close game, right? 50-50 on possession, which just blew my mind when I saw that at full time because we were blowing them out of the water in the first half. I think it was like 66-33 in favor of Liverpool. Wolves had more shots. They had more shots on target. Allison had to make more saves in this one than the Wolves goalkeeper, which is just insane. And then probably the most insane stat for me was Wolves completed more passes than Liverpool at Anfield. So this was not a game where Liverpool dominated and Wolves kind of got lucky to score a goal. No, this was a 50-50 match that Arne Slot and his boys actually pulled the 3 points out of and avoided another costly draw. And that is massive. And I think we've just learned that, we've won a lot of ugly games this season. I understand that. But when you get into middle of February with a lead in the Premier League, we've been in this position before, and these results start to pile up where we draw and we draw and we lose and we draw and we're dropping points. And that gap is getting closer and closer. Well, in the past week, right, we've played really poorly against Wolves. We have drawn to Everton. And yet we've seen our lead at the top of the Premier League actually increase by 1 point, right? And 2 more games gone. And that's probably the most important thing is now we have 13 games remaining and that lead is still 7 points. And by the way, come Wednesday, we have a chance to increase that lead even more to 10 points, which is absolutely incredible. I'm not going to say that we're going to win it. I'm not going to say we're going to beat Aston Villa on Wednesday. But if we do, that's 10 points with 12 to go. And that, my friends, is a very, very good thing for Liverpool Football Club. Let me know what you think in the comments. Get your comments in below. And as always, smash a like on that like button. And I'll see you next time.